Welcome to Infinite Universe with interesting episode. The giant squid is just the beginning. When scientists send cameras deep into the ocean where very few humans have ever gone, they discover things that are beyond imagination. Most people think the deep ocean is just dark water and strange fish, but there's so much more. Down there are ancient structures, creatures we once thought were myths, and natural forces that can kill instantly. One of the most terrifying examples is a phenomenon called the frozen finger of death. It's not a joke. This is a real ice formation known as a brinacle, and it can freeze sea creatures the moment it touches them. Brinicles were first spotted in the 1960s, but only filmed clearly in 2011 near Antarctica. Divers had to swim under thick ice and carefully position their heavy cameras to catch it on video. A brinacle forms when sea ice creates super salty, very cold water. That water is heavier than regular seawater, so it sinks, freezing everything in its path as it travels to the ocean floor. It looks like a tube of ice slowly reaching down. When it finally hits the seabed, any sea life like starfish or sea urchins nearby are instantly frozen. Scientists from Columbia and other research centers created computer models to understand how these icy tubes grow. Andrew Thurber from Oregon State University described brinicles as delicate but deadly to small creatures, a natural slow-motion death trap that is rare and haunting. In March 2025, something incredible happened aboard the research ship Forca 2. Scientists sent a robotic submarine named Sebastian down 2,000 feet into the deep sea. Suddenly, its lights caught something floating by. It looked small, just a little over 1 foot long, but it wasn't ordinary. It was a baby colossal squid, something no one had ever seen alive in the wild. Until then, colossal squids had only been found dead, washed up on shores, or inside the stomachs of whales. Now, scientists could see it alive, swimming freely where it truly belongs. Marine experts Kat Bolstead and Aaron Evans were in shock. Aaron even said he started hyperventilating when he saw the hooks on the squid's arms. Its eyes were enormous, nearly 16 inches wide, the biggest eyes of any animal. These eyes help the squid see in total darkness, a necessary skill in the deep sea. This encounter was proof that legendary creatures like the colossal squid are real and still out there, hiding in places we can barely reach. Another mysterious sea creature caused confusion in 2020. Researchers off the coast of Western Australia spotted a huge spiral-shaped creature about 2,000 feet deep. Many people online thought it was a Portuguese man-o'-war, a dangerous jellyfish-like creature known for painful stings. But this wasn't it. It was a siphonophore, specifically from the genus Apolemia. Unlike the surface-floating Portuguese man-o'-war, this deep-sea creature was floating in the mid-ocean, far below the surface. The siphonophore is a colony of many smaller parts that work together as one organism. It wasn't just drifting, it was dancing gracefully in the dark waters. Even though it's related to the man-o'-war, it's a completely different type of life form. The deep-sea siphonophore reminded researchers that the ocean is full of living things we don't fully understand yet. In 1986, a Japanese diver named Kihachiro Aratake made an astonishing discovery near Yonaguni Island. While exploring 82 feet underwater, he came across a massive rock formation that looked like a pyramid. It had steps, platforms, and sharp angles, features that looked too perfect to be natural. The site measured 165 feet long, 80 feet wide, and rose up like a monument. Some people began calling it Japan's Atlantis. Geologist Mosoki Kimura believed the structure could be over 10,000 years old and suggested that ancient people may have built it when sea levels were lower. He even connected it to legends about a lost continent called Mu. However, others disagreed. Experts like Robert Schoch said the formation was natural sandstone shaped by earthquakes and erosion. Flint Dibble called it nothing more than a natural rock formation. Even with these debates, when you see the site underwater with its clean, symmetrical lines, it's hard not to wonder whether humans had a hand in its creation. The mystery remains unsolved. Another strange creature from the deep is the headless chicken sea cucumber. Officially called Enipeneus eximia, it's one of the weirdest animals ever seen. This sea cucumber got its nickname because it looks exactly like a plucked headless chicken floating in the ocean. Scientists have known about it since 1882, but it was rarely seen alive until 2017, when deep-sea cameras finally captured clear video of it in the Gulf of Mexico. Then in 2018, researchers found another one near Antarctica, nearly 2 miles deep. Most sea cucumbers crawl along the ocean floor, but not this one. It swims. It has little webbed fins that let it paddle gently just above the seabed. Its glowing pink body makes it look like something from a science fiction movie. Some people also call it the Spanish dancer because of the way it moves. It lives at depths ranging from 1,600 feet to nearly 20,000 feet, making it a true deep-sea resident. Even though we've seen it a few times, we still don't know much about it. Now let's talk about invisible fish. There's a strange type of transparent fish known as leptocephali, which are actually the larval form of eels. These see-through babies puzzled scientists for a long time. In 1904, a researcher named Johannes Schmidt caught one near the Faroe Islands. For years, myths surrounded these ghostly fish. Some believed they were born from rocks or even created by magic. But in 1893, a French scientist named Yves Delage confirmed they were just baby eels. Later studies proved these creatures live in open waters and not on the ocean floor. They swim up and down in the water column, usually between 100 and several thousand feet deep. In 2020, NOAA found some rare transparent larvae with orange spots over 5,000 feet deep. Their ghost-like bodies help them hide from predators in the twilight zone of the ocean. Despite all the myths, these creatures are very real and just another strange part of the ocean's hidden world. In 1997, something even stranger happened. NOAA's underwater microphones recorded a loud, mysterious sound in the South Pacific. It was so powerful that sensors over 3,000 miles apart picked it up. Scientists called it the bloop. The deep, rising sound had no known source and was louder than anything any known animal could produce. For years, people speculated about what it could be. Some thought it was a giant sea monster. Others blamed secret submarines. A few even connected it to the fictional creature Chulhu. But in 2012, NOAA finally solved the mystery. They matched the sound to giant icebergs cracking near Antarctica. These icequakes can produce massive sounds underwater. Seismologist Robert Zyak confirmed the match, saying it was a natural event, not a monster. The bloop became a reminder of how mysterious the ocean is and how natural events can sound just like the stuff from horror stories. Not all underwater discoveries are about strange animals or natural sounds. Some of them are deeply connected to human history. One of the most haunting underwater places is Chuuk Lagoon in Micronesia. In 1969, famous explorer Jacques Cousteau filmed a documentary about this place. During World War II, the Japanese used Chuuk Lagoon as a major naval base. But in February 1944, the US launched a surprise attack called Operation Hailstone. Over the course of 2 days, more than 40 Japanese ships were sunk and around 250 aircraft were destroyed. The lagoon turned into a massive underwater graveyard. Cousteau's film showed eerie, perfectly preserved shipwrecks lying at the bottom of the calm lagoon. Divers have since explored over 50 of these wrecks, including cargo ships, oil tankers, and military vessels. Many of them still have personal items, weapons, and even human remains inside. Chuuk Lagoon is now one of the most famous diving spots in the world. It serves as a museum, a war memorial, and a chilling reminder of the destruction of war. The ocean hides many secrets, some are natural, some are mysterious, and some are deeply human. The deep ocean is one of the most mysterious and unexplored parts of our planet. People often think of it as just a dark place full of strange-looking fish, but it's so much more than that. When scientists send special cameras deep into the sea, far below where most humans have ever gone, they discover things that seem like they belong in science fiction movies or fairy tales. Down in those dark, cold waters, there are strange creatures that people once believed were only myths. There are also massive natural forces that can be deadly in an instant. One of the most surprising and terrifying discoveries is something called the frozen finger of death. It sounds like a scary name from a horror story, but it's real. This thing is actually called a brinacle, and it can freeze sea creatures instantly just by touching them. Brinicles were first discovered back in the 1960s, but scientists didn't manage to film one properly until 2011, and that too happened near Antarctica. Filming one wasn't easy. Divers had to go beneath thick ice in freezing cold water and carefully set up their heavy cameras. The conditions were extreme, but they were determined to capture this rare natural event. A brinacle forms when sea ice creates super salty, freezing water. This very cold and salty water is heavier than normal seawater, so it sinks downward, forming a tube of ice as it moves. This icy tube, or brinacle, slowly reaches toward the ocean floor. When it touches the bottom, anything nearby, like sea stars or urchins, freezes instantly. It's as if the brinacle is reaching out with a long, icy finger and turning sea life into statues. Scientists like Andrew Thurber from Oregon State University say that brinicles are delicate but dangerous. They're like slow-moving death traps in the coldest parts of the ocean. But the wonders of the deep sea don't stop there. In March 2025, something happened that amazed scientists all over the world. A research ship called Forca 2 was exploring the deep sea with the help of a robotic submarine named Sebastian. This robot went down nearly 2,000 feet into the ocean. Then, out of the darkness, the robot's lights caught something small floating by. At first, it didn't seem like much. It was just a little over a foot long, but what it turned out to be was extraordinary. It was a baby colossal squid, something that had never been seen alive in the wild before. Until that moment, colossal squids had only been seen when they washed up dead on shores or when parts of them were found in the stomachs of sperm whales. No one had ever seen one alive in its natural habitat. So when this little squid appeared, swimming freely in the dark ocean, scientists were shocked. Marine experts Kat Bolstead and Aaron Evans were watching live footage, and Aaron said he almost couldn't breathe when he saw the squid's arms, which had tiny hooks on them. The squid's eyes were enormous, about 16 inches wide. That makes them the largest eyes of any animal on Earth. Those huge eyes help it see in the complete darkness of the deep sea. This rare encounter proved that creatures many people believed were legends still exist, living quietly in the parts of the ocean that are hardest to reach. And then there are creatures that confuse even the smartest researchers. In 2020, off the coast of Western Australia, scientists saw something that looked like a giant, swirling ribbon floating deep underwater about 2,000 feet down. The internet went wild with guesses. Many thought it was a Portuguese man-o'-war, which is a jellyfish-like creature known for its painful sting. But this wasn't a man-o'-war at all. It was something called a siphonophore, specifically from the genus Apolemia. It's a creature that floats in the middle of the ocean, not near the surface like the man-o'-war. What makes siphonophores so special is that they aren't just one animal. They're actually colonies made up of many smaller animals, or units, that all work together to survive. It's like a group of tiny organisms living and functioning as a single body. When scientists saw this one drifting and moving so gracefully in the deep sea, they were amazed. Even though it's related to the man-o'-war, it's very different and far more mysterious. This beautiful and strange creature reminded everyone that the ocean still holds countless life forms that we haven't even begun to understand. In 1986, another strange discovery came from a completely different part of the ocean. A Japanese diver named Kihachiro Aratake was exploring the waters near Yonaguni Island, about 82 feet below the surface. While diving, he stumbled upon a massive rock structure that looked like a man-made pyramid. It had steps, platforms, and very sharp, clean edges. It didn't look like something made by nature. The whole structure was about 165 feet long and 80 feet wide. It looked like it was rising from the ocean floor, and it reminded people of lost ancient cities. Some even began calling it Japan's Atlantis. A geologist named Mosoki Kimura studied the formation and believed it could be over 10,000 years old. He thought it was built by an ancient civilization that once lived there before the sea levels rose. He even suggested it might be linked to old legends about a lost continent named Mu. But not everyone agreed. Other experts, like Robert Schoch, argued that the structure was just a natural formation made of sandstone that got its shape from earthquakes and erosion. Flint Dibble, another scientist, called it nothing more than a natural rock formation. Still, even with these explanations, when people see the clean, sharp lines of the Yonaguni monument, many can't help but wonder if humans had something to do with its creation. The truth is still unknown. Another incredibly strange creature from the ocean is called the headless chicken sea cucumber. Its real name is Inipneus eximia, but it got its funny nickname because it looks like a chicken with no head, floating around in the water. Scientists have actually known about it since 1882, but it was extremely rare to see it alive. That changed in 2017 when cameras in the deep Gulf of Mexico finally recorded clear video of one swimming. Then in 2018, scientists found another one near Antarctica, this time nearly 2 miles below the surface. What makes this sea cucumber so different is that it doesn't crawl along the ocean floor like most of its kind. It swims. It has tiny webbed fins that allow it to gently float just above the seabed. Its body glows a strange pink color, making it look like something from outer space. Because of the way it moves so smoothly and elegantly, some people also call it the Spanish dancer. It can live as deep as 20,000 feet below the surface, making it a true deep-sea resident. Even though we've seen a few of them now, scientists still don't know very much about how they live or survive in such extreme conditions. Now let's talk about something even stranger, invisible fish. These odd creatures are called leptocephali, and they're actually baby eels. They're completely see-through, and for a long time, people didn't know what they were. In 1904, a scientist named Johannes Schmidt found one near the Faroe Islands. At the time, no one could figure out where these ghost-like fish came from. Some even thought they were born from rocks or created by magic. But later, in 1893, a French scientist named Yves Delage confirmed that these were simply the larval form of eels. Further research showed that these baby eels don't live on the ocean floor. Instead, they swim up and down through the open water, sometimes going as deep as several thousand feet. In 2020, NOAA scientists found some of these transparent creatures over 5,000 feet deep. They had tiny orange spots on their bodies, which helped researchers recognize them. Their see-through appearance helps them hide from predators in what scientists call the twilight zone of the ocean. Despite the legends and confusion, these invisible fish are real and a natural part of the ocean's strange ecosystem. But perhaps one of the most puzzling deep-sea events happened in 1997. That year, NOAA's underwater microphones picked up a strange and powerful sound in the South Pacific Ocean. The sound was so loud that it was recorded by sensors more than 3,000 miles apart. Scientists named it the bloop. The sound rose quickly in pitch and had no known source. It was louder than anything any known animal could make. For years, people wondered what it was. Some believed it was a giant sea monster. Others thought it might be a secret military submarine. A few even suggested it might be the fictional creature Chulhu, from horror stories by H.P. Lovecraft. The mystery lasted until 2012, when NOAA finally figured it out. They discovered that the sound matched the noise made by massive icebergs cracking and breaking apart near Antarctica. These ice quakes are natural but incredibly loud underwater. Seismologist Robert Zyak confirmed that the bloop was just the sound of ice moving, not a monster or secret weapon. Still, the story of the bloop reminds us how little we know about the ocean. Even natural sounds can seem like something from a nightmare when we don't understand them. Not all deep-sea discoveries are about strange creatures or weird sounds. Some of them are closely tied to human history. One of the most haunting underwater places is Chuuk Lagoon, located in Micronesia. In 1969, the famous ocean explorer Jacques Cousteau filmed a documentary about this location. During World War II, the Japanese Navy used Chuuk Lagoon as a major base. But in February 1944, the United States launched a surprise attack called Operation Hailstone. In just 2 days, over 40 Japanese ships were sunk, and around 250 aircraft were destroyed. The lagoon became an underwater graveyard. Jacques Cousteau's film showed eerie images of ships lying peacefully at the bottom of the lagoon. These shipwrecks are still there today. Divers have explored more than 50 of them, including cargo ships, tankers, and war vessels. Many of them still contain personal belongings, weapons, and even the remains of the people who died in the attack. Today, Chuuk Lagoon is a famous spot for divers. It serves as a natural museum and a memorial to the lives lost in the war. The ocean doesn't just hide strange animals and odd sounds, it also holds powerful stories of our past. So when we look into the deep sea, We're not just looking into water. We're looking into a world full of secrets, some natural, some human, and some that are still beyond our understanding. From deadly ice fingers and ghostly sea creatures to ancient ruins and wartime graves, the deep ocean continues to surprise, frighten, and inspire us. Scientists have only explored a small part of it, and who knows what else is waiting to be discovered. One thing is clear: the ocean is not just water. It is a place of wonder, mystery, and endless stories waiting to be told. Thanks for watching. Keep it and stay tuned. Like and subscribe our channel. Have a good day.